Welcome to another episode of Distilling the West. I'm your host, Dan, joined by my co-host, Dave. How you doing over there, Dave?
I am doing well. I'm super excited about this bottle. We're going to get into it here in a minute. But yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, man. Spring is springing and, getting out there, being more physical instead of sitting around, which kind of gets into our topic today of, the social lubricant that is alcohol and, of course, responsible drinking and everything like that. But, we're seeing more news stories about how people just aren't getting out as much anymore. I think it's kind of a little bit of the residual effects of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone kind of hunkered down and maybe got a little too comfortable in their sweatpants, and I know I've kind of stepped back a little bit from that. Of course, busy with little
you
one.
got a new kid in
yeah,
there.
definitely
That does it too.
Keep him busy with that. But, I definitely try to push up against that and not get too comfortable and just doing the same old, turn on Netflix and getting in my PJs and cuddling under a blanket or anything like that.
Yeah.
We just went out to a show the other night at the Big Room, March 4th from Portland. That was a lot of fun. And it was a good reminder of even if it's just with your spouse, getting out, keeping the spark alive and that whole conversation. But just, it was for a friend's birthday party and we hadn't seen folks in a while. I think we're all get pretty busy in our day to day. And it was really good to get out and, shake a tail feather and, have the fun drinks and cheersing people and just catching up. I think that's important for our mental health,
Yeah, and I think I know when I was starting off in my career, we did happy hours and things like that after work, and it was just a good way to get together and just kind of hang out with coworkers and become friends. And the social lubricant is there, a drink or two, and then it was good. And talking with some coworkers now, especially some of the younger ones, they don't necessarily see that as a thing to do or something worth doing. A lot of them are just like, go home, play on my phone, hop on social media, kind of live in my own little bubble. And when they do come out, it's a good time. It's just a way to get to know people better. And I think responsible hanging out with alcohol can be good for society.
Luckily, my work has a very robust happy hour culture and stuff, so it's good. You definitely do see the split a lot of the times of so-and-so didn't show up, and I think it does communicate something in the company business atmosphere if you're kind of skipping out on these events. But to a certain extent, I understand people wanting to keep a certain degree of separation between their personal life and work life and whatnot. But I think it's good, because it sort of strips down, hopefully not too much of that kind of formal business aspect and get to know people. I know I'm working with one guy who's, really good at marketing. And I was like, what is your best tip to marketing? And he's like, honestly, just like bringing it to a personal level with people. You see, you're, wearing a Mets hat or something like that. You really like the Mets, huh? And
I like this person already.
Yeah. And so, just kind of having that personal touch point. And I think it's a great opportunity. And speaking of which, let's jump in.
Personal touches.
Yeah. Let's jump into what we're tasting today on our tasting talk here. Another one from Alchemy Distillery out of Arcata, California. This is their Boldt series, which is their whiskey, and it's called Mash Confusion.
Mash Confusion.
Oh yeah, Mash Confusion. Sorry, I messed up the pun. And great artwork on there. It's, if you recognize it, it's the same guy, Dwayne Flatmo, who does the artwork for like Lost Coast Brewery, Great White. And if you're familiar with that, Downtown Brown used to be one of my favorite beers back in my college days.
Producer Dave agrees.
Yes. And he's got that really fun kind of slightly abstract, but you might also recognize Steve of Steve and Amy from Alchemy Distillery. And they're just doing fantastic work out there. They exclusively use Demptos Napa cooperage, which we also did an interview with them. That was fantastic. And I'm becoming more of a believer of that cooperage and that high quality oak that they use in their barrels. I think that comes through in a lot of their whiskey products that I enjoy a lot. This one, very affordable. I think it was somewhere in the $40 range per bottle, if I'm not mistaken.
Which ridiculous.
Pretty killer, right? And so they saved a little bit from each batch and then barreled it all together. And we were discussing off camera. We're not sure if that was them saving some of the unaged distillate off of each run and then putting it a little bit by little, kind of infinity barrel style, or if they kind of double oaked it. So I'm doing a trip up there soon with the fam for spring break, and I'm really hoping to get an opportunity to stop in and say hi to Amy and Steve because they're awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go in on the nose on this.
Yeah, and while you stick your nose in the glass there, I just want to say the idea of an infinity barrel is awesome. Just taking a little bit of all your pours, pouring them into a bottle and trying it. And the fact that this distillery is doing it with their distillate and coming up with something that smells and tastes as good as this is just impressive. So, Dan, what are you getting on the nose on this one?
It's got a great brown sugar characteristic. On the nose there, great sweetness. I think I get a little bit of that oak influence, kind of the barrel candy notes going on for me. Sitting at 100 proof, it definitely lets you know it's there, but it's a nice Humboldt County hug, we'll call it that. Yeah.
See, that's funny that you mentioned that because I find myself, I can stick my nose way in the glass there and really get a nose full. I don't get that burn. I would not have guessed.
Sorry, I jumped 50%. I jumped to the taste there. You're right. On the nose, no burn for sure.
All right. Well, I haven't even tasted it yet, so why don't you go ahead and talk about your palate a little bit here while I give a sip.
Anything you got on the nose there, dude?
No, for me, again, it's mostly that brown sugar. I get a lot of that sweetness. To me, that's the overwhelming part of the nose.
I would agree. Yeah.
And again, no burn on it too, which is amazing for being 50% alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Nice legs in the glass. Good viscosity. I think it leads with that brown sugar note, and then I think we're getting an influence from the grain, but a very pleasant.
One?
Yeah, because 11 different grain varietals in this. Just kind of, it's pleasant though. It's kind of almost like an oatmeal cookie or something. So it's not like that. Sometimes craft distilleries kind of get a knock on them for, the whiskey tastes grainy. That's kind of more like the raw grain aspect. This isn't really like raw grain. This is more of like a baked. Oatmeal cookie kind of comes to mind with the vanilla, maybe a little cinnamon coming in.
I almost get like a Cheerio-ish.
Oh, okay.
Like a little bit of that cereal note with the sweetness, like that honey syrup. I don't know.
Yeah, honey nut Cheerio or something. Yeah,
it's delicious, by the way.
Yeah, and then I think I get some of on the finish, a little bit of, maybe the dried fruit, like a raisin in the cookie. But this one was really surprising to me how good it was. I was thinking, it's a combo. Maybe it was just sort of an afterthought thing. But, I think through and through on their process, Amy does a great job on their ferments and running penny the pot still. And, she makes some really good cuts, and then that Demptos oak is definitely doing its work on this one as well. So all around the board, I'm going to say I'm liking this one. How about you, Dave?
Yeah, going back to our rating system of yay, meh, or nay. I don't know. I love Honey Nut Cheerios, and that's what's stuck in my head right now. So I'm definitely going to give this a yay across the board.
Yeah.
My only drawback to it was I wish the finish was longer because it's so good. I kind of wish it just stuck on, I don't know, like the roof of my mouth, stuck on my tongue a little longer.
Yeah.
It's good, though.
Yeah, I'm digging this one, especially at the price point. As you can tell, I definitely smoked through this one. I just found myself going back to it. It has that really nice sugary component and that's rich that I really go to on the kind of tasting wheel graph, if you will. But
and I guess my thing would be is if I want the finish to last longer, I just have to take another sip. Is all it is.
Yeah,
and that would drain the glass too. So.
Yeah, so definitely go check this out. They have their website and they can ship within California. So for our California listeners, definitely grab some of this off their website. And we love their bottle and bond rye as well. If you're passing through Arcata in the Humboldt County region, which I can't recommend enough. Of course, that's my old stomping grounds. Go and check it out. And they have really fun pop-up events. We were kind of on that topic of getting out and going to events, having good food. And to round it out, let's do our cheers, Dave.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers. Thanks for joining on another episode of Distilling the West.